Welcome to News Beacon, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. On August 13, 2025, China announced a staggering 125% tariff on all U.S. electric vehicles, a move that instantly captured the world's attention and sent ripples through the global economy. The announcement sent shockwaves through the White House and global markets, as investors and officials scrambled to assess the potential fallout. Former President Trump, caught off guard by the sudden escalation, was reportedly furious. He viewed the move as a direct and personal attack on his America First economic agenda, which had long prioritized tough stances on trade with China. The scale and suddenness of the tariff left Washington scrambling for a response, with lawmakers and advisors convening emergency meetings before dawn. Trump spent the morning in a flurry of urgent calls with his top trade advisors, determined to project strength and unity in the face of what he called economic aggression. By midday, he appeared at a hastily arranged press conference, condemning China's action as economic warfare. He vowed a swift, overwhelming response, promising that the United States would not back down or be intimidated. The world watched closely as the U.S. signaled the start of a new, high-stakes chapter in its ongoing trade dispute with China, with analysts warning of unpredictable consequences. Stock markets tumbled in response, and shares of major American automakers like Ford, GM, and Tesla dropped sharply, reflecting deep investor anxiety about the future of U.S.-China trade. News outlets buzzed with speculation about the long-term fallout, debating whether this could mark the beginning of a prolonged economic standoff between the world's two largest economies. For Trump, the challenge was clear. He needed to respond forcefully to defend American interests, but also had to avoid triggering a global economic crisis that could spiral out of control. His reaction set the tone for what would become a critical test of his presidency, with both supporters and critics watching his every move. The stage was set for a defining moment in modern international trade, as the world braced for the next move in this escalating economic confrontation. A tariff is simply a tax on imported goods, designed to make foreign products more expensive and protect domestic industries. With a 125% tariff, an American EV costing $40,000 to build and ship to China now faces an extra $50,000 in taxes, raising its base cost to $90,000 before local fees. The final price for a Chinese consumer could easily double, making the American car unaffordable. Meanwhile, a similar Chinese-made EV might sell for $40,000. The result? American EVs are priced out of the Chinese market entirely. This isn't just a negotiation tactic, it's a clear signal. U.S. electric vehicles are no longer welcome. The tariff acts as a financial wall, blocking American cars at the border. For U.S. automakers, the door to China has slammed shut. The impact is immediate and severe. China's new tariff is a calculated response to years of escalating trade tensions between the world's two largest economies. This move didn't come out of nowhere. It's the result of a long history of back-and-forth actions that have shaped the global economic landscape. The latest spark was the recent wave of U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods, with a particular focus on electric vehicle components and technology. These measures have put significant pressure on Chinese manufacturers, threatening their access to the lucrative American market. In response, China's tariff is both a form of retaliation and a strategic maneuver designed to shield its rapidly growing electric vehicle industry from foreign competition. Over the past decade, China has poured billions of dollars into domestic EV companies, nurturing homegrown giants like BYD, NIO, and XPeng. The goal is clear: to dominate the global electric vehicle market and set the standards for the future of transportation. By effectively shutting out American competition, China gives its own brands a massive advantage at home, allowing them to grow stronger and more innovative without external pressure. This move also sends a clear message to U.S. automakers. If you want access to the Chinese market, you'll need to invest locally, build factories in China, and become part of China's supply chain and workforce ecosystem. Timing is everything. As electric vehicles become the next frontier in global technology, China is positioning itself to control not just production, but also innovation and market trends for years to come. This tariff is more than just a policy, it's a bold statement of intent. China is determined to lead in high-tech industries, and it's willing to use aggressive trade tools to secure that leadership. The message to the US is unmistakable. If you want to compete, you'll have to do it on China's terms, or risk being left behind entirely. The global balance of power in the auto industry is shifting rapidly, with China now at the center of this transformation. For American companies, the challenge is nothing short of existential. Their future in the world's largest auto market is now uncertain. China is playing for keeps, making it clear that it's ready to defend its interests at any cost. The stakes have never been higher, and the outcome will shape the future of the global auto industry for decades to come. For US automakers, China's newly announced tariff is a devastating blow, sending shockwaves through the entire industry. The impact is immediate and far-reaching, threatening the stability of some of America's most iconic car companies. The Chinese market, once a key growth target and a symbol of global expansion, is now effectively closed to American-made EVs. This sudden closure slams the door on billions of dollars in potential revenue and future investment. Companies like GM and Ford now face a stark choice: either absorb massive losses from unsold vehicles or abandon their carefully crafted export plans altogether, risking their international presence. Vehicles built specifically for China now have no market, leading to a growing oversupply, mounting inventory, and severely disrupted sales forecasts that could ripple through the entire supply chain. Factories in the US may soon run well below capacity, driving up per-unit costs and forcing automakers to make painful strategic shifts, including possible layoffs and production cuts. Meanwhile, European and Asian competitors, not subject to the same tariffs, are poised to seize market share, strengthening their foothold in China while American brands are left behind. The long-term risk is clear. US brands could lose their foothold in the world's largest car market, making it even harder to regain lost ground in the future as consumer preferences shift. This isn't just a temporary setback. It's a fundamental threat to American automakers' global ambitions and their ability to compete on the world stage. Executives in Detroit and Silicon Valley are now facing a grim new reality, scrambling to adapt strategies and reassure investors as stock prices tumble. The competitive landscape has changed overnight, forcing a dramatic rethink of global supply chains, partnerships, and future investments. The consequences of this seismic shift will be felt for years to come, reshaping the future of the American auto industry. Beyond boardrooms, the real pain hits American workers. Thousands of auto jobs in states like Michigan and Ohio are now at risk as export plans collapse. The ripple effect spreads to suppliers, those making seats, wiring, and tires, threatening layoffs and factory closures nationwide. Communities dependent on auto manufacturing face economic shockwaves. Lost jobs mean less spending, hurting local businesses, and deepening the downturn. Even workers who keep their jobs face uncertainty, reduced hours, frozen wages, and constant fear of cuts. Companies may halt new investments, shrinking future job opportunities. The tariff isn't just a tax on cars, it's a blow to American livelihoods. The human cost of this trade war is mounting. For many families, the future has never felt more uncertain. The tariff's impact won't stop at the border. It will hit American consumers too. If the US retaliates with tariffs on Chinese EV batteries, the cost of building electric cars in America will rise sharply. Batteries make up 30 to 40% of an EV's price. Even a modest tariff could add thousands to the sticker price. A $45,000 EV could soon cost $50,000 or more, putting electric cars out of reach for many families. Higher prices could slow the shift to cleaner vehicles and limit consumer choice. Automakers may delay affordable models, focusing on luxury EVs with higher profit margins. For buyers, that means fewer options and higher costs. The dream of affordable electric cars is slipping further away. Let's compare two similar EVs, one American, one Chinese, each costing $40,000 to make. The American car, after China's 125% tariff, lands in showrooms at over $105,000. The Chinese car, with no import tax, sells for about $48,000. Faced with these prices, Chinese consumers have an easy choice. The American EV is more than double the cost, completely uncompetitive. The tariff isn't just a hurdle, it's an economic wall. US automakers are shut out of the market overnight. The numbers make the impact clear. American cars can't compete. This is why the industry's reaction was so swift and severe. Tariffs have real, dramatic consequences. China's aggressive tariff marks a turning point in US-China relations. The era of managed competition is giving way to open economic hostility. Both countries are now racing to build self-reliant supply chains for critical technologies. The world could split into rival economic blocs, forcing other nations to choose sides. This rivalry will spill into technology, diplomacy, and even military posturing. Global cooperation on issues like climate change and pandemics could suffer. De-escalation is possible, but the path is narrow and uncertain. The choices made now will shape the future of global trade and security. The stakes are enormous for both nations and the world. The next moves will define the era. China's 125% tariff on US EVs has jolted the global economy and deepened the US-China rift. The move is a strategic blow, closing China's market to American automakers and threatening thousands of US jobs. Consumers face higher prices and fewer choices as the trade war escalates. The tariff is more than a tax, it's a wall blocking American innovation and livelihoods. The US must now decide how to respond without triggering greater economic damage. The world is watching as the two superpowers navigate this new, uncertain landscape. The decisions made today will shape global trade and technology for years. The future hangs in the balance.